Right, so recently you completed the OCC UTMB in Chamonix, which was huge. And I know there was a huge buzz in the group amongst you guys congratulating Alexandra. Massive, massive achievement. Was this always a goal of yours that you set out to achieve, or was it something that maybe you became aware of, or you realized that you could do it whilst doing other races and events?
Actually, no, I had no idea. I didn't know what the UTMB was. I didn't know what it was. In passing to a friend of mine that I'd started running with, who then became an athlete with me, who's a very accomplished ultra runner. He is very into all of the who's famous, who do I need to know, who do I need to follow on YouTube and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, I just want to run. He said, no, do you not know about the UTMB? I'm like, what's that? You know, I don't, you need to get a trail index, you need to do this. And I'm like, why do I need to do that? It's because this is the greatest race that you'll ever get the opportunity to run. And it sounds awful, but I was like, yeah, whatever. Okay, so what do I need to do? And so he said, well, you need to get a UTMB index. You need to do this. So he followed me through all the guidelines. And he said, and of course you need to run. And I'm like, that I can cover. So I had no concept of what I was doing. And then the problem was when the time came round that they invited you, because you'd made the qualifying criteria, they invited you to use these stones that you collect. They're like points, if you like. I did it and I submitted my application. I was like, yeah, whatever. And I put it to the side and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go for another run. And then when it came through that I'd got a place, I then went, really?
So did your friend tell you how to basically fulfill the criteria, or was it like, oh, actually I've done this and I'm most of the way there? Or
yeah, no, he told me how to do it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he told me how to do it. We did much of it together. We applied together. And I said to him, the only way I will be doing something, because he did show me loads of videos, loads of YouTube. This is how difficult it's going to be. This is what you're going to have to do. This is your mandatory kit. This is the kind of training you're going to have to do. And I said, yeah, okay, I'll do all of that so long as you and I do it together. And he went, yeah, we'll do it together. No, I got a place, he didn't.
Oh no.
Oh,
so
wow.
now I'm faced with doing it on my own.
Oh, but you had great support. You had Abby there with you, didn't you?
Yeah,
really
yeah,
cool.
I was really lucky, actually, really lucky.
The highs and lows during the race, and how did you train for it? So you did some recceing for that as well, big time, didn't you? I think beforehand you went away. So yeah, just highs and lows during the race, and how did you train for it?
Okay, so highs and lows, lots of both. I was out for, I can't remember how many hours now, 12 hours. The highs, and this is really difficult because it took me a lot of time to process, because you come through the finish line and everyone's like, oh, how did you find it? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm finished. and you are big, and the emotions around it are really big, because you know that it's a big thing, and you know that you know that you deserve to be there because you've qualified to be there, but obviously you're not elite because the elites finish in like 5 hours or something. But the highs were definitely, the highs came much later. So I'll come to those in a minute, and I'll go with the lows. The lows were when when I got to an aid station and I was desperate for water. I wasn't desperate. I was having enough in reserve that I can get to that, because of my research, that I would get to the next one. But I really wanted to top up with my water. I wanted to take my jacket off, and I wanted to get my food out, and I was hungry. I was not over hungry, but ready for my food. But it was a cattle station. And the low for me was I came through this farmyard into a cattle station that had these troughs where you filled, that had water taps, And in order to fill up your vest or your bladder, you had to get your water vest underneath and into these taps, and there's manure everywhere, and it was dirty, and I dropped my bag, I dropped my vest, there was no one to help, and I was really expecting there to be much more support.
Right.
And my water got covered in manure, and I tried to clean it off and I couldn't. And then when I took my first sip, when I came out, I was nearly sick.
Oh
And
gosh.
that was like a real low. And I was like, what am I doing here? How am I going to get through this? And they're actually, those lows are the things I'm sharing with you, but I never put in my reflection documents, otherwise it would scare the life out of people to do. And people would never do it, and they don't happen to everyone because other people seem to cope. I was obviously inept at doing what I was doing, and I needed a helping hand, and there was no one to help. So that was a real low, one real low. And another real low was standing at the foot of what I knew to be a 7.5 kilometer uphill run, which you knew you were never going to run. And all I could see was a chain, a snake, a snake of people zigzagging up. And I'm not kidding you, it was vertical. I don't know, you say vertical is like, no, it was vertical. And I'm like, how am I going to go from here up there? I know I'm not going to run. But I'm a runner. And so I had to get over the mental anguish, and I was call it anguish, the mental anguish of knowing that I'm not running now. I'm going to be hiking up this vertical blooming mountain, which was really hard. The terrain was hard under the feet. I've got the right equipment, but I was just like, I'm a runner. I want to be running. That was really hard. And so subsequently, because I felt that I was a runner and not running, the highs I wasn't able to process until much, much later. And we're probably talking like even 10 days later.
Wow.
And I think probably that comes with the territory of just how how hard this kind of thing is, but also then suddenly being able to process just what you've done. And walking around in a finisher's t-shirt and a finisher's gilet, you're given a gilet with OCC finisher and stuff like that, and because you're not given a medal, which was fine. I don't need another medal. But the highs were enormous, but I needed to allow myself the time to process, because you don't want to become this arrogant person that says, well, every race that I enter or every event that I enter, I'm going to complete, because there'll be times when you can't complete. And they're the times actually that you have to dig even deeper emotionally and mentally and reach out. And Tom will tell you I was in pieces when I didn't complete the Ultra Trail Snowdonia this year, through no fault of my own. It took me weeks to get over that. Sorry, Tom. But it just took me the same amount of time to actually process the enormity of what I'd done, and then actually say, I didn't do bad, did I?